All right, guys, day 36, the 100 is LeetCode. Today we got an easy one that has a lower acceptance rate, so I think it's one that a lot of people struggle with. I remember I struggled with it the first time I tried and solve it. But let's get down to it. So it's longest common prefix. We're going to write a function to find the longest common prefix string amongst an array of strings. If there is no common prefix, return an empty string. So here in example 1, you can see that the longest common prefix, I mean, you can just look at it and see that it's FL. It's pretty easy. For example 2, there is no longest common prefix because there is no common prefix, just an empty string, right? Okay. Anything of note in the constraints? Okay, only letters, but yeah. All right, so let's get to it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just start off, okay, right at the end, we can just return prefix. And the reason why we can do that is because we're going to be working with this prefix the whole time, and whatever it is at the end of our work, we can just return that. So we're going to start off with prefix as string 0. We're just going to say, okay, like let's just assume that the longest common prefix is just the first string in this array. So one thing we can just do, just avoid all this work, is just say if the length of strings, or strs, excuse me, is 1, we can just return prefix. And then we're going to enter a loop. And we're going to start it at 1. And the reason why we're going to start it at 1 is because we've already accounted for the index at the string at the 0th index, excuse me. All right, and we're going to go the whole time there. And the first thing that we're going to say is we're going to say if strings I dot length is less than prefix dot length, we're going to reassign prefix to be a substring from 0 to strings I dot length. And the reason why we're going to be doing that is because if we come across a string that is already shorter than the prefix that we're currently working with, well, we can just shorten our prefix because we know that the longest potential common prefix between those two is just going to be the length of the string at that index. We can say length is prefix.length. The reason why we're doing this is because we're going to enter an iteration, but we're going to be messing with our prefix a little bit. So if we were to put prefix.length in our loop, it would create problems because we're looping through, we're changing sort of the condition every single time. So we're going to save that in length. And what we're going to do is we're going to say for int, we can use j this time, equals 0. J is less than length. J plus plus. All right, we're going to say if prefix dot equals strs I dot substring 0 prefix dot length. We're going to break. We're going to break that loop. We're going to enter the next iteration of the other loop. So basically what we're saying is, okay, if we found a common prefix between the prefix string that we already have and the string that we're currently at, let's just go on to the next string and work from there. That's what that's basically saying. And now in our else block, we're going to say if prefix.length equals 1, well, we're done. We're just going to return an empty string. And the reason why we're doing that is because if our prefix.length is already 1 and we haven't found up here any commonality, well, we're going to have to decrease our prefix, but we can just return an empty string because, of course, we're going to have a length with 0, which is just an empty string. Right? Now, if prefix length isn't 1, we're going to basically recreate our prefix, and we're going to say prefix equals prefix.substring 0 prefix.length minus 1. And I already wrote return prefix at the bottom. So we should be good. There you go. That's one way to solve that problem. If you know any other more efficient ways, be sure to get involved. Let me know. I've checked the discussions. They all seem to sort of have the same idea, though. Okay. That was day 36 on 100 Days of LeetCode. If you enjoyed that, appreciate you liking and subscribing. We'll see you again on Monday. Yes, Monday.